guys, it's Archon. Welcome to Inferno Friday. This week, you might have heard patch 2.0.1 came out for Diablo 3. Now, if you don't know about this patch, this is the Reaper of Souls patch, basically. You're not getting Reaper of Souls, this is just the patch that comes along with it. So any of the changes that happen for Reaper of Souls that affect everyone are now in effect, so to speak. So if you're not buying Reaper of Souls, everything you're going to get is already in the game, except for, of course, future patches. So it's pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff's in there. All the new itemization changes, all the Paragon changes. Of course, you don't have access to Act 5 or Crusader or Adventure Mode, all that stuff you only get if you buy Reaper of Souls when it comes out on March 25th. But it was pretty fun to go in there and play around, and I just wanted to catch you guys up on all the 2.0 news. So we got some posts on here I'm going to talk to you about, and then I'm going to talk to you about my experience in patch 2.0. So the first thing a lot of us noticed, if you've played patch 2.0, is there was a lot of little bugs and glitches around the game. And this is kind of to be expected because it's a pretty big patch. So there's going to be things that mess with other things, but Blizzard's been doing a pretty good job of fixing it. I thought I would share some of the bigger bugs with you guys, though, in case you missed them. Probably the biggest one is the auction house. If you guys haven't noticed, people were allowed to put bind on account items onto the auction house right when the game came out. Now, if you don't know about bind on account or any of the other changes, I suggest using the link below to read through the patch 2.0 changes. I'm assuming the rest of you guys are all caught up and ready to go. But anyone was able to just put their legendaries on the auction house, which as of 2.0 are all bound to your account, and people could buy them. Now, a lot of people were asking me what I thought about it. I was streaming at the time. I didn't know much about it, so I suggested to you guys, don't buy them. And that's always what I suggest. Anytime something's glitchy or it looks like there's a potential exploit, I would just stay away from it. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. It's just the safer way. In this case, however, it looks like maybe you should have bought them. So sorry, but sometimes Blizzard rewards bad behavior when there's not a better choice, and this seems like one of those situations. So, of course, it was a bug. You weren't supposed to be able to put your legendaries on there. They fixed that. You can no longer list your BOA legendaries, but if you bought one, as Alira says here, as we speak, we're looking into making any account-bound item that's been sold on the auction house BOA for the player that purchased it. So if you bought a BOA legendary, you just own it now. Now, this isn't a huge deal because the expansion's coming out soon. You're going to replace these items really quickly. It was only there for a day or two, but unfortunately, it's one of these times where you did get rewarded for taking advantage of something that was clearly a bug. I would say that's an exploit, but it's understandable. If Blizzard didn't have the ability to just go through and reverse all those transactions, then I guess this was the most fair way to do it. Definitely more fair than just taking away those items from people and having them lose their money or gold as well. Like I said, there was a lot of other small bugs in the game. For example, when you complete a quest, you get an item that you can't use for some weird reason, even though you should be able to use it. But the one other big bug was that you can farm experience really quickly for two reasons. One, if you're low level and you're with someone higher, you level up really quickly. They've already fixed that. And cursed chests, as King Conger pointed out on his stream, you could level up really quickly and get lots of loots doing cursed chests over and over again, and they fixed that as well. So Blizzard's done a good job going in, cleaning up the mess. I'll have links to all the blue posts below if you want to read them for yourself, but I just thought I'd catch you guys up. That's about all you need to know. There's lots of clarifications on patch 2.0, but if you've been keeping up on the progress of Reaper Souls, you'll know all about that. And if not, I suggest going to Diablo fans to get some updates. These are just the big changes that you wouldn't have known about if you hadn't played in the last week. Now, my personal experience in the game, I would love to share with you guys. First of all, you get legendaries at a pretty good rate, maybe one an hour. I was feeling I was getting for a while with decent gear, playing with a group. And the legendaries are better than the current legendaries in the game. They're, of course, scaled to the new Loot 2.0, so you can get upgrades pretty quickly. I would say it's definitely worth playing before Reaper of Souls comes out if you're interested. It's a lot of fun. I've been playing Reaper of Souls for a while, and I'm still enjoying patch 2.0. Really like the loot and the other systems really make a big difference. Not that we're where we need to be with the game, but it's a lot more fun than it used to be. Definitely worth trying out. And a lot of people were asking me, what build do I use with my gear? Like, I'm a Whirlwind Barber, or I'm a Critical Mass Wizard, and I can't do that build anymore. What's a better build to use going into Reaper of Souls? And so I decided to kind of use my stream to find a good build, at least for Critical Mass Wizards. I don't play all the classes, and so I'm kind of asking for your help here. If you guys play a Whirlwind Barb, or, I don't know, a Tebish Rush Monk, or any build that was popular in vanilla that's not as popular in Reaper of Souls, and you've had to come up with a new build, using gear that used to be good for a different build, then please share it below. Just write in the comments like, I was a blank character, and so this is a build that works good with that same gear. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys two builds that work well if you have critical mass gear. So this build right here is what I was running with on the lower difficulties, and then I'll show you a higher difficulty one as well. So in critical mass gear, you have really fast attack speed, really high crit chance, and then some arcane power on crit. And in Reaper of Souls, you can only get like 4 arcane power on crit on a piece instead of 10. So I would hold on to those items that have 10 APOC just in case later on you find some crazy build that you need a lot of arcane power on crit, because it can be really helpful, even though you're going to lose some damage, of course. Right now, though, you're still in vanilla. Take advantage of that APOC. So you're going to want skills that proc a lot, have high proc coefficients, which means you're going to get your arcane power on crit a lot faster, and anything that gives you an advantage for hitting quickly or critting a lot. So I went with Surge of Power on Electrocute. This is going to give you arcane power back really quickly in addition to your APOC, which means you can just dump a lot of arcane power spenders. Now, if you wanted to, instead of Surge of Power, you could also do Forked Lightning. That's going to get you some extra damage when you crit. You can do anything that gives you really the primary skill is up to you. One of the biggest reasons I used Electrocute really is because I wanted to do a lightning build. And elemental builds are a little more popular now that you can get that on your gear. On Arcane Orb, I use Spark. That seems to proc a lot. It's a lightning skill, and you can just dump resource really quickly. Prodigy seems to work really well with CM gear because, of course, you're not going to be able to keep your arcane power up all the time. You're going to be casting a lot of primary skills. You might as well get arcane power back quicker. Really, with like Surge of Power, arcane power and crit, and Prodigy, I start casting Electrocute, just like whoop. So we just be like, electrocute for a second, dump a bunch of orbs. Electrocute for a second, dump a bunch of orbs. And I was able to get a lot of damage. I wish I could show you guys right now, but I couldn't get into the game before making this video. Paralysis, of course, because I did a lightning build. Arcane Dynamo works well for the same reason. I'm switching between primary and main caster really quickly, so you might as well get that extra damage from Arcane Dynamo. These were just buffs because I was doing lower MPs. I didn't need a lot of protection, so Spark Flint, Electrify to get some more damage and some more electric damage on there as well. Teleport to get around quicker, and Scramble for some damage and speed. So you can switch those around. If I was doing a higher MP, I would change things up a little bit. I might go Meteor on this one. Meteor not so good when things are dying like immediately, but if they have a lot of health, you can do more damage with Meteor than you could with Arcane Orb. Might put Hydra here. If you're running through areas, Hydra's not going to be as worth it as if you're staying and fighting for a little bit. Hydra, maybe. I really like this new Deflection rune on Magic Weapon. Get some more defense. Wormhole might even be Safe Passage, and Storm Arbor might even be Prismatic. Just go more defensive overall. And if I was really dying a lot, even do Unstable Anomaly. I think it was actually pretty close to what I was running around with when we were doing like Torment 4 and up. But yeah, it's just basically just find things that capitalize on the skill points you already had. I was only able to play around with the Critical Mass Wizard, but I know a lot of you guys have been playing around, so please post in your comments if you guys have found any cool builds. I know a lot of people really appreciate it, and it's really fun just to try other people's builds and be able to share them. So this will be a good way for us to help each other get ready for Reaper of Souls, so we can have some awesome builds. And really, guys, if you're waiting for Reaper of Souls to play, I would encourage you to try out the game now. I think it's a lot more fun than you might think it is. These changes make a big difference, even though only a couple of them are in the game already. And even if you have really good gear, you're going to find some upgrades pretty quickly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll have another one for you soon.